So happy evening. I'm Dr. Sachin, and nice to see you all here. So first of all, thank you to Pratima, Rakhi, and the whole Global Insurance team for arranging this wonderful workshop. And since last few days, you are conducting nice workshops on various subjects. And today I'm here to share some knowledge about the healthy aging. Basically, I'm Dr. Sachin. I work in the oncology department at Yashoda Hospital, and I treat day in day out related with the cancer patients. And when a cancer patient comes to me and when I treat him, the joy and satisfaction what I get, it's beyond the words. And actually I draw the inspiration from all my patients, and whatever I get some knowledge through them or through my academics or whatever I have learned, I want to transfer to the community, because I believe firmly that whatever we are today is because of the society, and at one fine day we have to give back to the society. So let us start with one mantra, Sanskrit mantra, which says Astoma Sadgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityormam Amrutam Gamaya Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. It means, hey my Almighty, my God, please lead me to from darkness to the light, from the myths to the facts, from mortality to immortality, and there should the peace should prevail everywhere. Here I may not tell about the immortality because everybody is mortal, but how we age gracefully and happily and blissfully is what matters at the end of the day. So this is the Christian Barnard, who has done the first cardiac transplant. And he says, I have saved the lives of 150 people by heart transplants. If I had focused on preventive medicine earlier, I might have saved 150 million. So the same story stays true with me. I save many more lives through my day-to-day practice in cancer field. But if I create awareness in the community, in the society, I will save more than what actually needed. Millions and billions people, I will touch their lives, which will transform into healthy aging. So when I is replaced by we, even illness become wellness is the mantra. So here this author Dan Buettner has done very nice study, and he has written his book about the blue zones. So what are the blue zones? There are 7 blue zones in the country and many more, where there are more than the population of that particular area. There are more centenarians and they are healthy and happy. So for example, in Okinawa in Japan, in Greece, Sardinia in Italy, Costa Rica Island, and some in California. So he has studied all these centenarians across the globes, and he came to the conclusion that what is the secret behind this healthy 100 years old, not old, probably the young population. They are so healthy, so happy, and they are not on any medicines, and they are living very harmonious life in their community. Even we can also see in our community many people in India, in Maharashtra, in Rajasthan, or maybe our grandmother, grandparents, grandparents, they have lived almost 90 100 years and they were very healthy and happy till the end. So what is the reason? What are the secrets? And he found 10 secrets which I'll going to elaborate. And this is the movie which we have seen. I think most of us have seen. If not, then I must urge everybody. This fantastic movie of Amitabh Bachchan and Rishi Kapoor is a must watch for everybody. It's one not to not out. How beautifully and how nicely Amitabh Bachchan live in spite of his 100 years, and what is his the mental attitude, what is his mental frame. I think that is inspirational movie, and I think some of these principles we can implement in our life as well. So let us move. What are those 10 or maybe 11 secrets for happy and healthy life? Aging is must. One day we all will grow. We will grow 60, 70, 80. But how gracefully and how healthy, happy we'll grow, that matters. So first and foremost is stay active, and both physically as well as mentally. Normally in our society there is a saying that because of you are little old now, you are cross 60, you are becoming retired. So there is, I say, there is no retirement in life. Till the last day you can be active, you can be working physically as well as mentally. So the simple exercise prescription, because a doctor can give only prescriptions, so simple exercise prescription what I give or what I tell to all my patients is 1 hour a day for our body. That includes, you can divide the 1 hour in 20 minutes. You first 20 minutes you can do meditation or non-doing or simply sitting in silence. Second slot of 20 minutes would be for isometric exercise. There are different types of exercise. So isometric is like yoga or pranayama or breathing techniques. So these should be for 20 minutes. And third is isotonic exercise, which are high energy exercise or maybe swimming, running, or some physical exercise which will burn your calories. So this package will ensure that your muscles, your tendons, your joints, everything will be perfect position. Your endurance will increase, your stamina will increase, and at the same same time, your mental frame will be fantastic. So always I tell, we all are there to earn money, but also we have to burn our calories. So that is again one tagline: earn money but burn calories with whatever way we want. So it's not I am saying, but it's research is saying that minimum 30 minutes a day, at least 5 days a week, we all should burn our calories, whatever way it is. If you love, running or playing badminton or shuttle or swimming or acro yoga or whatever dance, whatever way you want, you have to burn your calories. And now there are many gadgets at our hand. You can see your pulse, you can see how many steps you walked and all those things. So you can actually count your calories, you can count your steps, and that will be kind of motivation for us how many numbers are there. So this is first prescription is 30 minutes a day, 5 days a week. We all have to burn our calories. And I should not tell the physical activity how immensely helpful for our body. It decreases obesity, weight reduction, efficiency, good sleep. The people who have insomnia, lack of sleep, they will have nice sleep. And most important is it decreases lifetime risk of heart disease, diabetes, cancer, stress, and depression. In fact, other Ayurveda also says Vyam, that is exercise, will help one to capable of our daily activities, increase digestive fire, reduces fat, and makes our body fit. In fact, many patients come to us for the plastic surgery. They have abdomen, they are overweight, and they want to reduce their weight by bariatric surgery and liposuction. But this is, I can tell, the physical activity is the poorest man's plastic surgery, and this is the closest miracle pill which is available with all of us. Only thing we have to practice it. And again, sitting is a new smoking, because most of the time our jobs are sitting jobs, and we will not burn calories because most of the time in a day around 8 to 10 hours will be simply sitting on the chair and table. So after every 50 minutes, just walk around, just bend, just do some, exercise, move your body. Or maybe you can, if you want, you can actually stand and work. One of my friend surgeon who always stands, he never sits in the chair. So that is again mini automatically burning. and lifelong exercise has a physical, mental, emotional benefits. So I again urge to have minimum 20 minutes of physical activity per day, and you can switch over. Sometimes you can do completely, if that 20 minutes package is not suitable for you, you can one day do yoga, alternate day, then you can do alternate day your uh, physical exercise or calorie burning exercise, and again switch over to yoga. So the I mean, one size doesn't fit all. So the way you are comfortable, you can do. What I practice personally is a brisk walking. That is the best exercise, and you don't need anything. You don't need gym. You don't need, swimming pool. You don't need anything. Just in a garden or just on the road in the morning, just walk for 40 minutes or 20 minutes, and it should be a brisk walk, not like a walking with the chit chatting and in a garden and with the gossiping with others, but it should be a brisk walk. Your pulse rate should be more than 100 when you walk. So that is the correct exercise. Then second, be active mentally, because many times we feel, Arey, I have seen you, but I'm not recollecting your name. Or maybe we are morning when there is hurry burry, you want to go to office, and then you are not able to find your keys of your car. Yesterday I kept it here, but I'm not recollecting where I kept. So that happens because of our memory loss. And as we grow old, our attention span decreases, focus, flexibility, speed, creativity, all these things comes down. And the mantra is use it or you lose it. So we have to use our brain as much as possible. Like you do yoga or gym for your physical health, physical body to grow your biceps, there are some exercise for the brain as well that is called as neurobricks. Because these problems of memory loss or Alzheimer disease or Parkinson disease, stroke, attention deficit disorders are becoming very, very common. And the remedy is simple. The way you exercise for your body, you have to work out for your brain and learn some new skills like some music or dance, or learn some new language. Now there are so many apps available. I recently in lockdown I used the Udemy app, and I found it very nice. I learned new language and new other things I learned in that, and pursue some new hobby where you will have your hand-eye coordination. So your motor skill, your fine motor skills will increase, like painting or weaving or whatever, reading. And then the best exercise is mathematics or puzzles or crosswords or Sudoku. My grandfather, who was at the age of 90 plus, even at the last day, even last day also, his memory was sharp. He used to count everything, because he used to sit in the in the office in his shop till the last day. He used to do all calculation, all transactions of cash, and his brain was so active. What is the best exercise for the brain? I will recommend it is a driving. Why? Because in a country like India, even though there are rules, traffic rules, but nobody follows. The person who is next to your car, he will switch on the right side indicator, but he will suddenly turn to the left. you know and in the car, when you are there, you have to adjust the AC, the music, you have to answer the phone calls, you have to speak with the person. So your senses are all active, the sensory mechanism, and also you have to apply the brake, clutch, ABC. So your all senses and also reflexes are always active. So those who are in good senses, I will recommend that driving is the best exercise as far as your brain is concerned. Second, what they recommend is take it slow. What I always tell is our life is busy, 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 but I will tell it not busy, but be easy, beeasy, because it's you have your multi roles at the office, at the at the home, as a parent, as a teacher, or whatever profession you are doing. And there are multiple roles at the same time. You have to carry your own life. So you are always struggling to find the fine balance. So how? Slow down, relax, and take it easy. And for that, the mantra is practice 10 minutes early. My guru says if you practice 10 minutes early, there are 10 hours more 10 years more to your life, and your heartbeats will reduce by 10. So beauty in imperfection. Don't find to try always with the perfection I want, because it increases your stress level. There is a beauty in the dry leaf also. So look at from that angle. Be proactive and avoid procrastination, because at the end of the day, when it becomes urgency and emergency, your stress level goes on. And always there is a time for everything and everything in time, and there's a place for everything and everything in place. So that will reduce your stress, that is reduce your urgency, and you will be at peace, and you'll be not busy, but you will be taking it easy. So always people talk about the work life balance, because they have to strike the balance between family, career, health, money, vacation, business, friends, and you should have your own life as well. So I will tell, it's not like a perfect work life balance, but there will be some temporary imbalances which you have to make it up. And we have to not work life balance but work life integration. What I can tell you is, will work more in synchronicity, which will give you at the end of the day little nice sleep, and also fulfillment throughout the day. Whenever we go through the positive emotions, we will, there are some hormones which will be secreted in the body, which are called as happy hormone or feel good hormones, like dopamine, endorphins, oxytocin, serotonin. So whenever you are happy or whenever you are at the peace, these hormones will be secreted, and your heart rate, your blood pressure, everything will be under control. And whenever you go through some negative emotions like angry, frustration, anxiety, depression, those negative pathways will be there. Aldosterone or cortisol pathways will secrete from the pituitary and in the other endocrine organs, that will increase your heart rate, your blood pressure, your sugar, and you will fall prey of many lifestyle disorders. So, what my guru says, Mahatria, is don't react, respond. Whenever you go through some negative emotion, for example, anger, just try to identify the source, be aware, note down what is the reason of the anger, try to identify, be conscious, and choose the right way to respond in a healthy way. Not, it should not be a knee jerk reaction, but give some time and then react. So that will give you peace of mind also, and the next person also peace of mind. And because of today's lifestyle, people are getting addicted to so many things. Being a cancer surgeon or cancer specialist, I come across these people who are there, who consume kind of this tobacco, gutka, pan, and they have smoking and other addictions, and they come with the tumor somewhere in oral cavity or lung cancer. So I think we should lead by example. All these things we should keep at bay. There are various mechanisms of de-addiction we can discuss sometime later, but this story you can remember. He's the person who is Leo Burnett, who born in 1994 in USA, and he was the advertisement man for the Marlboro company's cigarette company. He used to do advertisement in TV and newspaper and in media, and you won't imagine he died because of lung cancer at the age of 60. So what message he has given? It's, if you don't smoke, don't start, and if you smoke, just quit it, because it saves time, it saves money, and it also saves life. Third is eat less and eat right food, because I find it very, very important. Because in my OPD every day, when I treat my patients, and at the end, and they always, after asking all the giving detail, all examination, again they will ask me, doctor, okay, what you told is everything is okay, but what should I eat at the end of the day? So I think this is the prescription is very, very important, is eat less. What the Okinawa people, they are practicing eating less. 30% eating less is very, very important. And our in you see in our life, we there are two kinds of practices. We eat before eating, we eat after eating. We eat during depression, we eat during celebration. We eat before time, we eat after time also. So eating right is very, very important. And this is the food pyramid, I always tell everybody that you can see the base is broad, physical activity is broad, and then as you go up, it is a tapering apex. So in the same consumption, same amount you have to consume, like the carbohydrate atoms, then little less the fruits and legumes and vegetables, then cheese, yogurt, fish, poultry, non-veg atom, and at meat and sweets. So these accordingly we have to taper it. For most of us, our triangle, our pyramid is ulta pyramid. Correct? It's upside down. Our physical activity is very less, and our sweet and non-veg consumption is very, very high. So just make it a point to make correct your triangle or pyramid so that you'll be healthy. And don't forget the water. 6 glasses or minimum 2.5 to 3 liters of water we should drink, because our body, 70% of our body, 80% of the body is made up of water. So to consume water, and it is a natural way of detoxification. Simple diet prescription what I give is eat less but eat also right. Low GI index food. GI is low glycemic index food. All these items which I will tell in next slide will be you have to reduce and use locally available and seasonal foods. There's no need of strawberry which is from Switzerland, or Kashmiri apple, or kiwi from New Zealand. What locally available food please take at that time. And also your plate is very, very important. Take small plate. This is very important as far as our food is eating food. Normally our mindset is when we take the big plate and there are less items, our mind goes that this place is empty, then we'll add some pickle or some chutney or something into that and we'll consume more calories. So I recommend a 10-inch small plate, divide it into four. One atom is carbohydrate, which will be your chapati or roti or rice, whatever. Second will be your vegetables, green vegetables. Third would be a protein or dal, and fourth will be a salad. Of course, you can take some fruit and curd or milk, which will help as a probiotics for you. And avoid second servings. Whatever you like, take only once. Whenever your hand goes again to take that gulab jamun or rasgulla or samosa, refrain it, because the second thing will increase your calories. And all the dietitians will tell you what to eat and what not to eat and how to eat, but nobody will tell you mindful eating. In Ayurveda, they have mentioned is tanmana bhojana gata chitta. Whatever we are eating, we should eat with all senses. We should eat with mindfully. We should keep our mobile switched off or at the bay, not switched off, but at silent mode. Don't look at the TV or movies. Only eating. Sometimes close your eyes, feel what you are eating, the taste, the sensation, feel that it's going in, and then only it will, the digestion will be more, all the ingredients will be absorbed, and that will work more. One more thing is a rainbow diet. Rainbow has multiple colors, 7 colors. The same you should have your diet, because every diet, every color has been given one particular nutrient. Because red color is for iron, orange color is for citrus fluid, green is for chlorophyll. So all those things will go into your body: iron, magnesium, potassium, zinc, many other nutrients, because every nutrient has its own color. So try to take as many as colorful diet, so that at the end of the day you will have all the natural ingredient and no need to take bicasuls and extra medicines and tablets. And as I was mentioning, all the high GI index food, that is glycemic index food, these are all high GI index food. What is GI index is whenever you take some food, your sugar level goes up. If your sugar level goes up, your insulin level goes up. And the most common cause for diabetes or obesity is not eating sugars or good sweets. It is because the insulin resistance. There is the insulin production in your body, but it cannot act in your body because of insulin resistance. So try to avoid this all white W's, 4 W's: white sugar, white salt, white flour, that is maida. You can the white you can replace with the brown rice or maybe black salt. And please avoid these bakery items and all these carbonated drinks, because they are very, very high GI index food, and eventually you will have insulin resistance. So these are always, we go for these left side things, Pizza Hut and Domino's and all other things, and we try to consume little less on right side natural feed. So once we went to hotel, and my son, we order one dish, and my son told that, oh wow, daddy, papa, this dish is very very yummy. And then I realized that the 2 minutes yummy will give you permanent tummy. So you can remember this tagline: 2 minutes yummy, permanent tummy. I won't say that you don't eat those things, but if 5 days, at least 70-80 per, Parato's rule, 80%, if you eat right food, then maybe 20% time you can once a while go to Pizza Hut and cherish those all the atoms, please your taste buds, but provided 80% time you are eating nice and food. And all about is immunity is going on because of the coronavirus now. So what are the foods which are high in immuno diet? What we call is as omega-3 fatty acids, glutamine, eicosapentaenoic acid, and arginine, all those sweet superfoods which are full with nuts and seeds, all those spices which are there in our kitchen, try to utilize it in our day-to-day life. The hing, the coriander, the mirchi, the dhania, and all jeera, turmeric, all these items which are there, what our mother or our grandmother used to cook with all those spices, clove, lemon, all those things, please try to ingredient in your day-to-day life. Intermittent fasting is also one more mechanism to detoxify yourself, and it is in most of the communities they practice spiritual practice as a fasting or upvas. So there are many philosophies, but the correct scientific explanation is which have been shown by this Japanese scientist Yoshinori Yoshimi in 2016, and he got the Nobel Prize for that, is intracellular autophagy. So when you give some stress, when you are fasting for 12 hours, it will give some small amount of stress to your body, your cells, and it will try to detoxify. It will try to all the bad toxins, the dead cells, the debris, it will be removed from your body. So there are many ways of intermittent fasting, but what I practice personally is 12 hours. Morning 8 o'clock you take normal food, and then directly in the evening around 8 o'clock you again take your normal dinner. In between nothing, or maybe you can take water or lime water or very thin buttermilk. So that kind of intermittent fasting is very helpful. Normally what happens, if there is a fasting, we try to take more either before or after of the fast. So that should not happen, and it also gives you very good mind control. Fourth advice or tip I will give is get in shape by next birthday. Those who are correct weight, I congratulate all of them, all of you, but those who are overweight, please try to get in shape by next birthday. Because nowadays whenever we go to the malls or shopping areas or clothes showroom, I see more of that X plus X, or maybe L, extra large, and more sizes, the 44, 46 sizes. There are no smaller or normal sizes t-shirts or dresses are available. So I asked that shopkeeper why there are normal sizes are not available. He told that there is less demand, sir, because now these high, large and extra large only are more selling. So we are not keeping the smaller one stock because it will be a dead stock. So that is happening, and obesity is the number one killer. It is a silent killer. The world is getting fatter and fatter every day. A simple formula to keep under overweight is BMI, your body mass index. So what is BMI? It is weight in kilogram divided by height in meters. So meter squares. So normal BMI is 820 to 25. So rough calculation I can tell you. So calculate your height in centimeters divided by 100 should be your maximum weight. For example, my height is 5 feet 10 inches. That comes 175 centimeters. So 175 centimeters minus 100, that comes 75. So 75 should be my maximum weight. So you can calculate accordingly for all of you, and you should try to control into that particular weight bracket, and it will reduce your arthritis, cancer, infertility. Because now in young female I can see very young population is also overweight. A lot of kids are overweight, and they have infertility problems and menstrual irregularities, and then other issues as well. So please try to get your next birthday, your weight under control. Fifth advice will be surround yourself with good relationships. I think this I like this very very nice, because at the end of the day these are all stress busters. Surround yourself with five good family members, your inner circle, your outer circle, and what my guru always says is A should be more than E. Practice appreciation and acceptance more than expectation and ego. So appreciate people, appreciate good things, accept whatever it is. You There will be some differences, everybody's nature is different, but celebrate the differences, and keep your expectations from others less, but expect from yourself more, and keep ego small, because at the end of the day that matters. And keep small things small, don't rub on the wrong side, and practice detach attachment, so that will be your close knit family, and they are cushion whenever you are in morally you are low, or you are at the lowest ebb emotionally. These cushions will help you to come out of that. And outer circle friends, colleague, out of profession friends, these are really great busters. So you should have your normal network and normal friends, and don't and moderation is the key, not excessive, but it should be under control. So I tell all of you, and these things have been seen in those old centenarians who have crossed their hundreds happily. They are very nice friend circle, happy, and they share with each other their good times, bad times, everything, and that is stress management lecture. Sixth is very important, is keep smiling and be happy. Yes, because there's a lot of things there on happiness. There are many books, there are many talks, there are TED talks, movies, and courses of happiness. But happiness is at the end of the day starts with you. Because what is happiness for you? For many people, so many definitions, and it is so elusive. At the end of the day we always struggle for happiness, run behind the happiness, and it looks like mirage. You are there but it's not there. So for some people it is money, for peace, family, music, friends, sports, so many things. So what is happiness for you? In fact, there was research done in HBR which shows these are the things which are people feel happy about. It is working with consciousness, with mindfulness, chatting, talking, playing, preparing food, all those things keep them happy. So these are some rough formulas to maximize happiness, create happy moments. You should have good health, adequate money, mature relationships, good social network, adequate sleep and exercise, reduce your screen time, that is digital detoxification, and pursue some hobby. Do what you love at the end of the day, because that matters. Small acts of kindness or volunteering, going beyond myself, and helping the needy also creates happiness. And art of creating and reliving our positive memories again and again, that is also one art of creating happiness. So my guru Mahatria always says there is only I in happiness and never why in happiness. Happiness in small things, that small breeze in the morning, the sunlight, the sun ray, sunset or sunrise, the wind, the breeze, even the tasty coffee or tea, or the hug, or call from friend, whatever you like. Those small things, cherish the small things in happiness. And there is a story where the teacher asked, there was a class of fifth standard, and the teacher asked, it was a kind of introductory for, and she was asking every student, what do you want to become in life? Somebody said that I want to become a doctor, the other said I want to become engineer, professional, entrepreneur. But there was one kid who told, I want to become happy. So at the end of the day that matters. I don't want perfect life, but I just want happy life. Seventh principle is live close to the nature. In today's era, we have to reconnect with our nature, eat natural food, minimally processed food, have a morning walk in the lawn, enjoy evening stroll in the garden, have nature holidays, treks and vacations, watch animals, have pets, watch sunrise, birds, flowers, animals, gardening, and so many things. Just you have to reconnect with the nature and you will feel so happy. There's a research just looking at the green color or blue color will give you, meditative moments, because the wavelength of green or blue color which relaxes the eyes and also mind. Eighth principle is give thanks. Be grateful. Recognize and appreciate what you have, because we that is a human nature that we always compare what we don't have. We always see the others. Oh, that person has a new car, or that fellow has bought a new flat. He's earning so much money, but please cherish what you have. There are so many people who have less than what you have. Correct? Just what you got free, just cherish that. And the simple thing is to appreciate what you have. Is write 3 points every day, what you are grateful for. Today I am grateful for 1 2 3. At the end of the day, when you are sleeping, just before sleep, just introspect yourself and just recollect your day and give thanks what you felt happy about it. And it's always we complain to God when we go into some negative cycle. Always when there are troubles, we call God and we tell, why me God? But always we have to tell, why me God for all my blessings instead of all my problems. So acknowledge and focus what you have, practice gratitude. It will increase, and its research has proved, there are many papers you can go and search, that those who people who practice gratitude mentally, they are very very peaceful. Ninth principle is live in the present moment. Yes, carpe diem, because today is the sensory overload. There are so many distraction all around, information outbursts, and how much we actually need. There's so much information is around, but how much you need? Just you want some knowledge, some information which is just garbage. And 67% of people think something else when they are doing actual their work. So be in a present moment right now. For example, you are watching my presentation, you are on YouTube, but many of you must have been thinking, even though physically you are here, but mentally, oh, now it's 5 o'clock or 5:30 o'clock, is my tea time or snack time, or my client is there or not. All those things will go in your mind. So please be in present moment. Keep your mind where your body is. That means every moment matters, and that will improve your efficacy. And there is no need of separate meditation for that. Mindfulness itself is a meditation. You should be so engrossed in what you do, automatically it becomes meditation. And it is, in HBR review, it has been shown that the mindfulness increases your efficacy, and there are many ways to increase the mindfulness or practice. Zen mantra, focus on your breath, kind of inhalation or exhalation or concentration or some point or some, japam. There are many techniques like deep breathing, rhythmic movements like japam, or progressive muscle relaxation technique, image guided meditation, body scan meditation, or just simply listening music. So all these things will give you a meditative experience which will keep you cool and calm. And research has proved that mindfulness meditation helps a lot. And even Ayurveda says yoga is the restraining of mind, which will take over many bad emotions of vrittis. So it improves our awareness, focus, efficiency, productivity, memory. It achieves our emotional equanimity and improves our patience, and it increases a compassion. 10th principle is, again, it will be a little medical oriented. That is called as your general health checkup. So all about 9 points were how to live, but the 10th point is, although you are normal, but sometimes many diseases will be there inside once you cross 60, 70, 80, but you will not come to know. So gift yourself every year annual examination, which will about your blood profile, various biomarkers, hemoglobin, vitamin D, vitamin B12, thyroid profile, lipid profile, and so many things. And there are few tests which are available for cancers also, like screening. And Don't worry about about the negative things. 1 or 2 points will come, little plus and minus, but feel happy about out of 400 tests, 1 or 2 are here, so your body is actually very healthy. So that's what always my guru Mahatria says, that feel happy that what is going on right in your body, and 1 or 2 problems are there, we are there to take care. Naturally also it can be taken care. So gift yourself on your birthday or maybe your anniversary your annual checkup. So there are some checkups for cancer also, because cancer is increasing day by day. Breast cancer, there is a mammography available every year, that is a scans of breast. For ladies, again cervical cancer or uterine cancer, pap smear is available. For gents, prostate cancer, there's a simple blood test available, PSA. For endoscopy and colonoscopy is available. For the intestinal cancer, so depending on the high risk profile, the doctor recommends some screening which we have to undergo every yearly. And even Ayurveda says that just as a tender plant is easy to cut down when it is small, or a sitchin's time, or the fire which is there in the jungle, it was initially a small spark, but eventually, if you overlook it, if you neglect it, it become a fire, jungle fire, or the big tree. Once the plant becomes big, you cannot uproot it. It become difficult. So, in any disease, any chronic disease, early detection saves lives. So please be aware and do some normal tests, visit your family physicians and do all those general tests. So we came just at the end of my talk. So those are 10 principles or 10 health tips, simple things which are very, very important. I'll just repeat those 10 things. Stay active and don't retire mentally, physically. Number 2, take it slow. Be easy rather than busy. Don't fill your stomach full. Eat less and eat right. Surround yourself with a good family and friends as a moral and comfort zone. Get in shape for your next birthday. Keep your weight under control. Sixth, smile and be happy, because at the happiness is is the essence of our life, and there is no why for happiness, there is only I for happiness. Happiness is the way. Reconnect with the nature. Try to live close with the nature. 8, give thanks, be grateful, practice gratitude. Ninth, live in present moment and practice mindfulness and meditation. And 10th is do regular health checkup, screening. And 11th is follow all above. So I'm putting that 11th is not a separate. The 11th factor is follow all these 10th factor. So moving ahead from just information to transformation. Because whatever I told, 90% of you already know, or maybe you know more than what I told you. But the problem comes is the implementation in our life. And I have told in very, very simple way, which are very practical, which are you can in daily life you can implement it. There is no big thing that I want this, I want that. Just simple normal food what your grandmother used to cook, a simple brisk walking, no need of gym or anything, no big meditation, but just mindfulness, being happy, weight control, gratitude. All these things are simple and you can actually start practicing from day to day. So this is my second last slide. This is my pet Neo Beagle. He's around 4 years old and I cherish him. You can see the 4 5 years. So I laugh with him. I love him. I live with him with exercises and good food. And I learn every day new things, some new knowledge, or upgrade myself with new skills, knowledge, and attitude. And eventually, we have to lead by example. So, this 5 year laugh, love, live, learn, and lead is the essence of our life. And thank you very much for the patient listening. And this is the one Sanskrit prayer. I'll again pray for all of us, and you can also chant again along with me, which says, Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina, Sarve Santu Niramaya, सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःख भाग्यवेत्. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. That means be everybody happy, peaceful, nobody should suffer, and everybody should be healthy. Thank you very much. I appreciate and I treasure these 40-45 minutes with you. If you have any queries or doubts, you can always reach out. You can now also chat for 10-15 minutes, or you can reach through my mail, or you can contact Rakhi or Pratima from Global Insurance. Thank you very much again, Global Insurance and Pratima, for arranging this wonderful workshop or seminar, and love you all. Thank you.